What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to GTA Online Money Guide. So, last week we started episode 3 where we will be covering the Cayo Perico Heist, and in part 1 we covered the stakeout of the island of Cayo Perico. So, if you haven't watched part 1, I do suggest that you go and do so, as I do feel that it will be very beneficial. Anyway, today we are beginning with part 2 and we'll be covering the overall preparation of the heist. But before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go. All right, guys, so let's continue where we left off. You can leave Cayo Perico at any time that you want. So once you're happy scoping out, once you found all your secondary targets, all your entry points, all your infiltration points, you can leave at any moment you want. You can also return at any time you want if you feel that you need more information. But to leave, all you need to do is walk up to your plane and select return to Los Santos. If this is the first time doing the heist, you might have to find your pilot, which is generally on the other side of the hangar. Just walk up to him and select return to Los Santos. Once you return to Los Santos, you are going to need to get used to the fact that you're going to travel to and from your Kosatka very, very often. But once you are there, you can have a look at your heist screen at any moment, and it gives you a nice summary of your progress throughout the heist preparation. First things first, we need to complete the approach vehicle mission. Now, because we have selected the drainage tunnel directly outside El Rubio's compound along the coast as our entry point, we will require the long fin. So go ahead to approach vehicle and start the mission. So this mission requires us to steal a longfin, which is currently impounded at a police station. Now we need something to tow it away with, so there's a list of trucks on your map that you can select. It will take you to basically a truck stop where you would find some resistance, but it's nothing to worry about. Steal the truck and head on over to the police station. Once you arrive at the police station, you will face more resistance, but it's nothing impossible. Do try and take out all the police officers first before you steal the long fin to avoid getting wasted like I did. I managed to successfully take out all the cops on my second attempt and load the long fin onto the truck. Now it is a bit difficult maneuvering through traffic and buildings while trying to evade the police in a truck of all things, but nothing super complicated, very straightforward. Take the long fin to the drop off point and mission success. All right, next up, we need to do an equipment mission. If you notice on your high screen, some missions are mandatory and some missions are optional. It all depends on your approach to the heist that you're wanting to take. But anyway, up next, we need to rob explosives from a group of drug dealers known as the O'Neill brothers. This will take you to the Yellow Jack Inn, where you will have to take them out. Unfortunately, it does divert you to another location, which is a farmhouse. Once you get to the O'Neill Ranch, you'll need to locate the basement where the explosives can be found. Now, we need a key card to access this. So, this can be found on one of the bodies of the O'Neill brothers, which will pop up on your map once you've fought your way through enough of them. Enter the basement, fight off with one or two more of them, and make a swift escape without crashing your bike. Once you have fled the scene with the explosives, make your way to the nearest beach without crashing your bike once again. Order your dinghy and then deliver the explosives back to the Kosatka. Mission complete. All right, next. So we obviously need to break into El Rubio's safe, which requires a safe code. So when we launch the safe code mission, this will take us to the casino where we need to locate the head of security. Now, how we do this is that we need to take the elevator and get a spare key card from the head of security's car and then make our way up to his penthouse where we can find him. Once you have made it to the basement parking lot, go to the head of security's car, open the trunk, get the spare key card, and make your way back to the elevator to go up to the penthouse. Once you're on the penthouse floor, you will face resistance and you will have to clear room by room until you find the head of security. Do a quick search of his body and then exit the casino. You will have to lose the cops, but I'm sure it's nothing that we aren't used to. And once we lose them, the mission will be complete. Okay, so for our next equipment mission, we need to get our hands on a fingerprint cloner because El Rubio's safe is situated in his basement that requires a fingerprint to get in. So go ahead, select the mission. It will then take you to a warehouse where you'll need to drive to, take out the cameras, but the security inside will probably be expecting you anyway. You might face some resistance, but then head on over to the laptop, hack into the laptop, and this will reveal the location of a building called the Archive, where we will find the fingerprint cloner. Once you're at the archive, take out the cameras once again. You shouldn't face any resistance, but you might have to look around for a bit to find the fingerprint cloner. Once you've got it, you can return it to your Kosatka. Do not ask me what's happening in this image. Another rival player turned my submarine into a buoy. All right, guys. So for the last equipment mission, we need to get our hands on a cutting torch. Now, this is because we need to cut through the drainage tunnel outside El Rubio's compound, as well as we need to cut through the fences that hold all the secondary targets. So go ahead and launch the mission. Once you have launched the mission, it will take you to a construction site where you need to search toolboxes to find the cutting torch. Now, the easiest way to do that is to find a hard hat, and this will pose as a disguise against the guards. However, once you find the cutting torch, you will immediately face resistance. However, it is not too complicated. Just take out all the security and deliver the cutting torch back to the Kosatka. All right, next up, guys, will be the loadout mission that requires us to steal the loadout that we want to use for our heist. Now, there's many options you can choose from, but my personal favorite would be the aggressor, which consists of the action shotgun as well as the automatic pistol. So the shotgun is nice from close to medium range, and then you still have the automatic pistol for your automatic shots for slightly longer range and a nice backup weapon. So go ahead and select that mission. It will then require you to drive to an office where a high ranking official resides. You'll have to take out some of the resistance that's on offer, break into the gun safe, which will require you hacking into the laptop. Once you have successfully hacked into the laptop, go ahead, open the gun safe, steal your loadout, exit the office, make a swift escape, and then deliver your loadout back to the Kosatka. Another mission complete. All right, guys. So after the loadout mission, you technically are ready to launch the heist. There are optional missions that you can do, which I'm going to cover next. But I just wanted to take some time to remind you to keep your side businesses fully supplied because preparation for the Cayo Perico heist does take time. So while you're busy doing your preparation, you can let your supplies build up over time. And before you know it, you actually are ready to sell all your supplies from your businesses. So as soon as you complete the heist, your businesses will be fully supplied, and then you can get it another extra payday. All right, lastly, guys, there are three optional missions that you can do before launching your heist, and they are known as the disruption missions. And what it does is, if you complete them, it lowers the resistance that you might face while busy doing your heist on Cayo Perico. So, the air support mission requires you to destroy as many of El Rubio's backup helicopters as possible. This is quite difficult because you are limited with time. The armor disruption means that you'll have to destroy soldiers that are wearing the armors or trucks that are carrying armor that the soldiers might use on the island. And then finally, the weapon disruption mission requires you to destroy weapon shipments that soldiers will use on Cayo Perico. Now, again, I say this is optional, but I did complete them, and I must say I did notice a difference in the amount of resistance that I faced while doing the heist. All right, guys, that is for part two, the preparation. Please stay tuned for part three, which will be going through the final heist itself. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.